Hello, and thanks for visiting this site to learn about the diary part of the research exercise that you've agreed to participate in. The point of this video is to give you a very brief introduction to the diary exercise so that you know the things that you really need to know to be able to do the diary exercise. It is going to be a brief video, so I want to start off by saying that if you've got any questions or if anything is unclear or if you'd like any more information, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I love my PhD, so it is never a hassle or a chore talking to people about it. The second thing I'm going to say is that before you actually start the diary exercise, you'll also be given a diary booklet, and this contains some extra information, some examples and some extra questions that you might find helpful as you go through the exercise. So the video is going to include the really key things. The booklet includes a lot more, so if you feel you need more, that's the first place to turn. The diary exercise involves you making a diary entry every day for 7 consecutive days. And there are 2 parts to the diary. There's an audio part and there's a paper table part that you will find in the diary booklet. I'm going to talk about each of those in turn, the audio part first. But before I do, I just want to mention what to do if you miss a day or if you don't manage to complete the full 7 days of the diary. And the most important message here is really that some information is considerably better for me than none at all. So if you don't manage to finish or if you miss a day in the middle, then please just give me what you've got. And by all means, feel free to call me, email me. We can talk about what you've got and what the best strategy is for going from there. But don't think that if you don't manage to finish, it's not useful. On then to the content of the diary and the audio bit first. The point of the audio diary is to get you to record some of your own reflections about your everyday travel. I'm going to ask you to aim for speaking for 4 minutes about your journeys every day. Don't worry if you do more or less than that, it doesn't really matter. 4 minutes is just a guideline so that you know roughly what sort of thing I'm aiming for. You can record your diary on any kind of digital recording device that you like, as long as you're able to give me the digital file for it so that I can use it on my computer. Most mobile phones these days have audio recorders, as do laptops and some digital cameras. So you can use any of those devices that you have. If you don't have a device, just talk to me about it and I can lend you one. There are also some online audio recorders that you might like to use, but if you do choose to do that, bear in mind that I can't ensure the confidentiality of something that you do over the internet. But feel free to investigate if you'd like to. So I've told you about how to record your audio diary and how long to talk for, but I haven't really told you what to talk about. Well, this diary is what's called a repeat question diary, and it works on the basis of asking yourself the same question multiple times and seeing what different answers you come out with. The question that you're going to ask yourself during this diary is, when it comes to how I travelled today, who was I? You might not find that anything springs instantly to mind about that question, and that's absolutely fine. You will find that you have things to talk about as you go along. And there are lots of examples about what other people have talked about and some supplementary questions to help you think about things in the paper booklet. Also, don't worry if you find that what you're saying is repetitive. That's often the case in diaries and it's not a cause for concern, so don't worry about that. Just have a go at answering the question in different ways and see what happens. Also bear in mind that this is your diary, and diaries are often quite personal things. No one can tell you that what you're doing in your own diary is wrong. I'm interested in a really broad range of things, and all of the diaries that I've got back so far have been really interesting and really quite different. So don't worry about what you're saying, just say what comes to mind, because it will probably be exactly what I'm looking for. Now, you may remember that when I did my speech at your Toastmasters Club, I said that you can use this exercise to practice impromptu speaking, and you might be thinking that answering the same question lots of different times isn't very impromptu. And you'd be right. So if you want to use this exercise as table topics practice, what we do is every day you email me one diary entry and I email you back a new question for the next entry. So you can open your email, you can read the question, and you can do the recording there and then, so it becomes impromptu. And I'm more than happy to do that with anybody who would like to use this as an exercise in impromptu speaking. If you're not using it as an exercise in impromptu speaking, I would still recommend that you send me your files every day or every couple of days, because the people who've done that have said that they've actually found it really helpful to get back some feedback and some suggestions from me as they go along. So I would recommend you still send it to me every day or two. So that's the audio part of the diary. In terms of the paper part, most of the booklet that you will be given is taken up with tables that look a little bit like this one. Don't worry that you can't see the detail. Basically, this is a table for you to enter details of the journeys that you make during a day. And it asks you things like, where did you go, what time, and how did you travel? The table itself is pretty self-explanatory, and there's a fully completed example in the booklet that you'll be given. So I'm not going to go into that in any more detail, but I would say that if you've got any questions about it, or if when you've looked at the booklet it isn't clear, then please come and ask me questions, because I will be very happy to answer them. That is almost everything you need to know to be able to start your diary, but one last thing. The very first thing you need to do before you start your diary is to record a test audio recording and to send it to me. The reason I ask you to do this is because it would be absolutely gutting if you recorded 7 days of audio diary, tried to send it through to me, and we realised that for some reason it didn't work on my computer. That would be awful. So I ask that you send me a test recording first. I'll confirm when I've got it, and then you're free to start your diary. And I'd really like it if you started your diary within the next 2 weeks. If you're going on holiday tomorrow and that's not practical, just let me know and we can arrange another time for you. But I would really like it if you started in the next 2 weeks. The best time, realistically, for most people is probably the day after you do your group discussion. So that's all that I need to say on the content. It just remains for me to say that I'm really excited about this exercise. To the best of my knowledge, this is the first time in the world that a repeat question diary has ever been done. It's really exciting. Everything that I've got back so far has been brilliant and really useful for my research, even though often the individual participants don't recognise how useful it's going to be, so don't worry if it doesn't seem useful to you. To me, it's really exciting and incredibly cool, and I am very much looking forward to hearing what you send me. So thank you very much for listening, and if you've got any questions, please get in touch.